NASA is currently 14 launches away from a total disaster. While you're watching this, China is building a rocket that is boring, outdated, and worst of all for the US, it actually works. SpaceX's Starship is a 160-foot skyscraper that has to refuel in orbit over a dozen times just to reach the moon. If even one of those refuelings fails, the US loses the moon to China. Today, we're looking at the engineering death trap that could end the Artemis era before it even begins. To get NASA's lander to the moon, SpaceX has to solve the biggest nightmare in physics, moving frozen fuel in zero-G. Because Starship is so massive, it arrives in orbit with an empty tank. To fill it up, NASA needs to launch a fleet of tankers, up to 14 of them, in rapid-fire succession. This is the complexity trap. If one tanker has a valve leak, or if the fuel simply boils off while waiting for the next launch, the entire mission is grounded. Now, look at China's plan. They aren't building a skyscraper. They're building a traditional 3-stage rocket. No space gas stations, no orbital ballet. It's the Apollo architecture, but bigger. In the race for national security, simple usually beats revolutionary. While we're trying to invent the future, China is just trying to hit a deadline. Then there's the actual landing. Imagine trying to balance a pencil on a pile of gravel while wearing a heavy backpack. That is basically NASA's current plan. The lunar South Pole is a mess of boulders and steep craters. Because Starship is so tall, its center of gravity is dangerously high. If it lands on even a 10-degree slope, there is a very real risk it just tips over. China's lander is built low to the ground with a massive footprint. It's designed for the ugly reality of the moon. If NASA's lander tips, we don't just lose the mission, we lose the only ride home for our astronauts. China isn't taking that gamble. But this isn't just about gas mileage or landing legs. The rocket we choose literally determines who writes the laws for the moon. The first country to set up a permanent power grid at the South Pole gets to establish safety zones. If China's boring rocket gets them there 6 months before Starship is ready, they effectively own the most valuable real estate in the solar system, the water ice. This is the new effective occupancy. If we can't get there because our tech is too innovative to work on time, we lose the high ground. The physics of these rockets are deciding the next 100 years of global power. NASA is taking the biggest engineering gamble in history. They are betting that a revolution in space travel is worth the risk of being second to the moon. But as the deadlines get closer, the question isn't, how cool is the rocket? It's, is the rocket ready? Let me know in the comments. Is NASA being too ambitious? Or is China's low-tech approach actually the smarter play? I'm earnestly speaking, and I'll see you in the next one.